to be talking about the books I want to read this winter months, not just December, but like December, January, a little bit of February, because I feel those are really the main winter months. And it's quite a big list, and I probably will be adding to it as I read books off of it, but I thought it'd just be fun to talk about them together. So first up is actually over here, and that is, and I also have already read some of these, but I'm not going to give my thoughts. That'll be later, for a later video. But the first was A Menagerie of Dragons by Christina Bear. I've already read this because, of course I have, because I just love Christina Bear, so it had to happen. But I also got, let me get them for you guys. I finally pulled the trigger and bought the rest of the Wormwood Abbey series, so now I have them all. We've got Wormwood Abbey, Drake Hall, Castle of the Winds. I think this is one of my favorite covers. Just stunning. Her covers are so pretty. City of Serpents, and finally The Valley of Dragons. Absolutely. Just yes all around. I love this series so much. So yeah, but A Menagerie of Dragons was book number 1. They are alphabetized because I'm just a sucker for things in alphabetical order, I guess. But next we have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is, I feel, a staple in the Gothic literature genre, and this is also one of my last Bronte sister novels in the clothbound, so I'm really excited. I've never read anything by Emily Bronte, but I really liked the novels I read by the other Bronte sisters, so I have high hopes, and I can't wait to just really immerse myself in the darkness of this book, because I hear it is very dark and there are no likable characters, which, yeah, I'm down for that. Also, a little side tangent complaint. Why do we need introductions this long in a classic? Why? I don't know. It just infuriates me for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does. I also have some coffee with me because I went a little crazy. I had a wild night. I stayed up to 2 in the morning crocheting. Why? I don't know. I just entered that flow state in crochet where I was just like, go, go. I don't know. It was crazy, but next, I wanted some poetry because I feel like I hadn't read poetry in a while. So I picked Lord Byron's selected poems. There really is no reason I picked his because I have other poetry collections. I think I picked it because the cover was blue and it was sort of matching like the other books that were here already. But yeah, poetry is just something that I like to pick up every once in a while. And I don't know if I'll like this, but I've never like hated poetry. So that'll just be a nice mix up for me. Then we have a book that I'm actually into, like I've read a couple 120 pages, and that's Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. I really love this book already. I'm only 120 pages in. It's a longer book, but this book is such a good time. I mean, honestly, this book is so fun. I will say it is probably the hardest book I have read in regards to language, but I am just pushing through and I'm loving it. This follows Don Quixote. That's his name that he picks for himself because he reads a lot of fantasy books and he ends up falling into the delusion that he himself is a knight of old. He's going to be the greatest knight in the world. He's very confident in that fact. So he knights himself, well, he picks the name Don Quixote, gets himself knighted, and he goes out to seek adventures and fame. And this is a great time already. I mean, I can't wait to finish it. Then we have another book I have already read because I couldn't resist, but that's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is following 2 magicians in England during the war with Napoleon. Magic has sort of died off. There's not a lot of interest in it. There's not a lot of great magicians. There's theoretical magicians, but they more study magic than perform it. And Mr. Norrell starts this revival of magic by performing it, and it sort of spirals into this contest between Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell over whose beliefs on magic are correct and who's the greater magician. But they end up stirring up some things that have been asleep for a long time, and it's not boding well for England, but I love this book. I'm not gonna say anything because that's in the wrap-up, but I love it. Then we have one I think fit the bleakness of winter perfectly, and that's Bleak House by Charles Dickens. This, I read the synopsis like a while ago, and it's so good. This is about a court case that has been drawn out about an inheritance, I believe. Yes, between Jarndyce and Jarndyce in England, and the inheritance part of it ends up turning into murder, as well as there is an illegitimate son and a long lost love, Mr. Bucket, one of the first detectives in English fiction, and Mrs. Jellyby, which these names are great, but this sounds so intriguing. Like a court case, London. Charles Dickens does a great job at writing the settings of his book, and I am really excited to read more from him. This is quite a big one to go with, but I think this fits winter very nice. It also is the Harvard class or Barnes and Noble classics, and I really like them. I think they're really nice. Sorry, I had to get up and let the kitty out, but next I have one that's literally perfect for December specifically, and that's A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Stories by, I don't think they're all by Charles Dickens, but his name is the biggest one on the book. I've had this for, I think I got it in February, so I'm really excited to read A Christmas Carol. It's like one of the most famous Christmas classics, I believe, because I hear about it all the time. And I believe it follows a man, and he ends up meeting the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. I think so. There's not really a synopsis on the back, it's just a bunch of stuff about the authors. But I'm excited to finally read A Christmas Carol during the nice Christmas season. It'll be magical, I am hoping. And the other Christmas stories, I think I've already read one. The other Christmas stories are A Christmas Tree, A Christmas Dinner, A Good Humored Christmas, chapters 28 and 20 from the Pickwick Papers, and then the selected bibliography. One of the two. So yeah, I have 2 Dickens books on here, but I think he's perfect for gloomier months. Then we have one that is ambitious, but that is my middle name. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have officially decided I am not reading that edition of The Brothers Karamazov. I've probably said this before because I just rant about it a lot, but I want my first Dostoevsky book to be in a format that doesn't make me hate the book itself, even though the book's not bad. So this one is quite a nice, like the font is a regular size, the pages are nice and thick, you can't see the other letters through the page, and this edition is extremely nice. It's a 1953 International Collector's Library edition, and it does have some really cool art in it. But to be honest, I don't know what this book is about 100%, but I know if it's by him, it's probably going to be a little dark, a little murderous on the side, perhaps, but I think he'll be great for winter. And I definitely when I was reading The Brothers Karamazov, I was into his writing style. I was just not into that format, so I think this will be really good. I have Idols of the Heart by A Lady of England. This book is so stunning. It's black. It's like this almost, I don't know how to describe this, but the details on it are so pretty. This follows a stepmother, I believe her name is Clemence, and she is entering into the home of her new husband. She's very excited, but she's also I said stepmother, didn't I? Yeah, there are kids there, and this other lady is jealous that she ended up marrying him, Lady Selina, and she starts putting out these lies to sort of cause this great conflict and rift between the new stepmom and her children. And Clemence is a country lady. She has never really lived in the city or run a household, so she is hit with a lot of pressure and is sort of making a lot of mistakes because she's never done this, and also her first time doing it is under kind of unfortunate circumstances because someone is out to turn the whole family against her. And there's also another thing. a tragic event changes things. So someone's probably gonna die. Um, but I just think this book will be really good for winter. I think the cover really is the one thing that gave off those vibes to me. Judge a book by its cover. I do. And this one passed the test. So I also love Lamplighters, and I also read The Jewel by Lady of England in November. So I do like her writing. I think it's very unique and pretty. Then we have my current read, and that is Silas Marner by George Eliot. George Eliot is a pen name for Charlotte Marie Evans, I think is her name. Mary Ann Evans, not Charlotte. I am currently like about halfway, and this, I'm not gonna give my thoughts because they're a little complicated. However, this follows Silas Marner. He is a weaver by trade, and he lives in Revelo, I believe is how you. I kept saying in my head Ravenlow because that's just what my brain thought of when it saw that word. But I think it's Revelo, and he's a weaver. He loves money. He loves his money. And one night he finds it is stolen, and that is devastating to him. Also, on another night, a little girl who's about 2 years old wanders into his house, and her name is Eppie, and they sort of form this father-daughter relationship for 16 years until the truth about where Eppie came from comes out and stirs the pot. So I've not quite gotten to where Eppie comes in, which is kind of surprising since I'm about halfway, but I'm not going to give too many thoughts because I'm not ready to give an opinion because I've not finished. But this is totally winter because there's a woman running through the snow with a baby, and it's winter. So yeah, that one just seemed perfect. Then we have another who I picked off the cover, and that's Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. It's literally snow, or it has to be, because why would the ground be white otherwise? These are shorter stories, and they are more fable-esque, I would say. And oh my gosh, this is such an interesting illustration. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. But yeah, these are more fable-esque stories that deal a lot with the animal kingdom and animals in general, as well as they explore some deeper themes about human life and where life came from. And I think it's going to be very good. I've never read anything by Rudyard Kipling, but I saw this and I was like, this looks up my alley, as well as there's a cat on the cover, and I love cats. So next we have The 12 Caesars by Suetonius. I don't know why, but whenever I think of December, November, January, I think of nonfiction because, you know, it's slower, and nonfiction is sort of a slower read. But so this follows, it's an autobiography of 12 of the Caesars who ruled over ancient Rome, written by Suetonius, who was private secretary to Emperor Hadrian and had like access to the imperial records and archives. So I think this will be very good. Ancient Rome is probably one of my favorite historical places to study. I think it's quite interesting. So I am really excited, especially to see how I do reading this, because I don't read a ton of nonfiction. I'm trying to change that, but this is going to be a very interesting read for me, and it's definitely getting out of my comfort zone, which I love. So that one made it onto the TBR. I have one that is just so fun, and that is Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. These are the letters he wrote to his children. He wrote as Father Christmas, who lives in the North Pole, and he gets into a lot of crazy, silly adventures. I'm actually reading one letter per day until Christmas. I have missed a couple days already, but this book is also just really pretty. It also has like photocopies of the original letters, like that, and also the illustrations that he wrote with the letters for his kids. But this book is so sweet and so just silly and heartwarming, and I'm definitely there's probably not exactly 25 letters, so I'll have to just finish the rest of them after I do my little letter a day till Christmas. With that, this is the last book on my winter TBR. This will probably change. Well, it most definitely will change. Over time, it will probably get some different books on it. I might take some books off, but these are just books I felt would be great for winter. So those are the books I hope to read during this winter time. And definitely let me know if you have any specific books you're really looking forward to this winter season. I hope you guys have an incredible holiday season, and I will see you again, and goodbye.